you better go and get dressed, Adam. You're going to be late for school. Adam?
Don't want to go.
Look, I know it's difficult for you starting a new school mid-term, but you will settle in, trust me.
I hate it.
Can't be that bad, surely.
Everyone makes fun of the way I talk.
Well, ignore them. It's a good school. You get very good results.
Uncle Peter says I can go to my old school.
Look, we've been over all this.
Yeah, but...
No. This is where you're living now, and this is where you have to go to school. So will you please go upstairs and get ready now?
There's no need to go on at the poor lad. It's not his fault that Deirdre's left you.
Don't start, Blanche, please.
You're not doing yourself any favours, you know. How's it going to look in court next week when it comes out that you're estranged from your common-law wife?
Well, she'll have come to her senses by then.
And if she doesn't, you're meant to be offering Adam a loving and stable home life. The way you two go on, he'd be better off joining a travelling circus.
It isn't what I wanted. Deirdre walked out on me. It's not what I wanted.
She could be lying dead in the gutter for all you know.
Look, I asked her not to leave. I pleaded with her not to leave, and still she went. What else can I do?
Morning, Mrs. Pownall. Any bright ideas, then?
What for?
Come on, Ashley. Chop, chop. Did you not hear a word I said? You're supposed to be thinking of ways of putting this business on map. Somewhat special. Somewhat that'll really attract people.
I've got an idea, Mr. Elliot.
Well done, Boris. What is it?
Game.
Eh?
Game.
No, we've done that. No, there's no call for it.
I don't mean rabbits and pheasants. I mean real game. Ostrich, impala, wildebeest.
This is a butcher's shop, Boris, not Jungle Book.
Well, it's very popular down south by all accounts.
Exactly. It'll never take off round here. Folk turn their nose up if you put herbs in sausages.
He's right, unfortunately. Mrs. Hunt, I wonder if I could tempt you to a nice piece of ostrich breast today.
No, you cannot. I'll have a pound of stewing steak. Beef stewing steak.
We were only joking.
It's the legs where the meat is, on an ostrich.
I'll take your word for it.
But at least he's got his thinking cap on, which is more than can be said of you.
I just don't see the point in trying out some daft gimmick. The butcher's plain and simple. We sell quality meat for good value for money.
Well, if that's the extent of your ambition, Ashley, I say if that's the extent of your ambition, I'm very disappointed in you.
What's wrong, Adam? Aren't you feeling well?
Nah, I'm all right.
You've got to get on the outside of a good breakfast, mate. Sets you up for the day, that.
Me?
That's right, isn't it, Dad?
I'm not hungry.
Well, you'd better get your things ready for school, then.
You don't like that school, you know.
He'll get used to it.
What, Weatherfield Comp? It's not what he's used to.
Don't think I know that.
Hey, don't start having a go at me because Deirdre's consorting with the enemy. Right, I'm going.
She's not, you know, Ken. Consorting with the enemy. I'm sure she doesn't see it that way.
No, I'm sure she doesn't. She thinks Adam should be with Baldwin, and that makes me the enemy.
Oh, don't talk rubbish. The only reason she left was she thought you weren't listening to her.
Whereas I imagine Baldwin was being more than attentive when they were together in Dev's flat.
You're never suggesting.
She thinks more of him than she does of me. Certainly as guardian of my young grandson.
Doesn't Deirdre have a point, though? Mike's his father. And a child's rightful place is with his parent, not grandparent.
We're talking about Deirdre, not Adam.
Ken, I know what it's like when you lose someone. You can lose all sense of where you are in the world. Lose perspective.
You think that's what's happened to me? I've lost perspective.
It's grief, Ken. It's naught to be ashamed of. But don't let it destroy you and Deirdre. Well, I'm glad you've come to your senses, Deirdre. Ken was so worried.
Worried isn't the word I'd have used last night. Furious would have been more like it.
Hello?
I told you she'd be back.
I'm not back. I've just come to pick up some clothes.
Well, can't you talk while you're here? Try and sort all this out.
Blanche, could you leave us for a while?
I'll go to the Rovers.
Ken, I'm sorry about last night. Mike didn't come looking for...
Aren't you going to eat that, lovey?
I'm not hungry.
Yes, well, you will be later on. And then you'll start stuffing crisps and sweets and rubbish like that.
Well, don't harass the boy, Blanche. If he doesn't want to eat, he doesn't want to eat.
I'm only trying to be helpful, I'm sure.
You okay?
Why does she always have to go on?
Well, she means well and she's concerned about you.
Yeah, but she never shuts up.
Got everything ready for school?
Yeah,
Well, you're not taking that with you, I hope.
may as well. All the lessons are dead boring. All the stuff we're doing I did ages ago.
Oh, come on, Adam, you can't say that. You haven't been there long enough.
We had double mass on Friday. Everyone just sat there mucking about. I knew all the answers, but what was the point in putting your hand up? Everyone just groans at you if you do.
Adam, if anyone starts bullying you...
No one's bullying me. I'm just bored. Why can't I come to the court hearing?
Well, I wish you could, but it's not allowed.
Why not? It's about me.
I know, it seems unfair, but it's the rules.
I hate that school.
Look, Adam, life's very difficult at the moment, and there's a lot of change going on for you, but you've got to give it a chance.
I know Mum would hate me going to that school as well.
Morning, all.
Ah, morning.
Morning. Hey, you're not taking that to school, it'll get nicked.
Grandad said I could.
Said nothing of the sort.
But it's practically dead anyway.
Oh, well, lucky I got you these then, innit?
Oh, great!
But it stays at home. Deal?
You just want to borrow it so you can listen to Eminem.
Hey, he thinks he's got me sussed, you know. Right, get your coat, I'll walk you down there.
Young lads, eh? Reckon I need a bit of practice.
Oh, don't worry, Dad. You're doing all right. All right.
Oh, and the loser buys.
Hello, love. What are you doing here?
I forgot my swimming stuff and they made me come back for it.
Have you had any dinner?
No.
Oh, I'd best make you a sandwich then. Unless you're still refusing food.
No, that'd be great.
It'll have to be cheese or cheese, I'm afraid. Your granddad did the last lot of shopping, and he's not quite been himself lately. With lots of men, though. I think it's genetic. Nature's way of ensuring they take a wife. Oh, I could offer you some piccalilli, though. Well, that cheeky little beggar.
No, not today.
Well, if he doesn't like cheese, he could have just said.
Isn't that him?
Where?
In a taxi.
Our Adam?
Might look like him.
Why didn't you stop him?
Yeah, how exactly?
Useless. And what do you think you're doing? I don't believe it.
I know. It's come as a bit of a shock to us as well.
At least we found out the lad's light-fingered sooner rather than later.
Come on, Mother. OK, if Adam stole from you, that's clearly wrong, but it was only because he was so desperate to get to the court and make his feelings known.
Feelings that you shared.
Yes. All right, I thought the lad should be with his father. But I must admit I've got my doubts about abandoning any kid to the tender mercies of Linda.
Oh, she was enjoying every minute of it, that one. Could tell by that smirk on her face.
Well, at least we don't have to move to Glasgow now.
You're not just going to give up, are you, Dad? We can't. Susan would want us to fight.
Yeah, I agree. But I don't know how practical that is. I'll have to talk to the solicitor.
I still can't believe he told that court welfare bloke he wanted to live with Baldwin. The bloke who's responsible for his mother's death.
Yeah, which he knows nothing about, and nor should he.
Oh, how are you getting on? Managing to sort your stuff out?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Oh, what time is it?
You frightened the life out of me.
Oh, yeah, right.
Well, what are you doing here?
I just didn't want to leave Ken last night. He was very down.
Well, of course he was. Oh, look at me. I can do without shocks like that at my age. You don't tell, you and Ken.
What do you mean?
I mean, it's about time you both sorted yourselves out. Worried about a child when the two of you are the biggest children on the street.
Oh, thank you, Mother.
Well, he needs you. You know he does. And you need a man.
Oh, any man?
Well, Ken'll do. At your age, you can't afford to be fussy. Oh, now hurry up with that tea. Look, my hands are still shaking.
Morning.
Morning.
Just popped in to see how you're feeling.
Oh, thanks.
So? Yeah, OK, fair enough.
I have to be going.
Oh, yeah, right. Well, thanks for staying. I really appreciate it. And hopefully you'll be back.
Well,
For goodness sake, what's to think about?
I think we've still got a few things we need to sort out.
Like?
Well, what we're going to do next for a start. I mean, this is interim order's only a temporary thing, so that means we've not lost him yet.
You don't think so?
Oh, no way, no. Up until he disappeared with that welfare bloke, everything was going your way.
Ken?
Yeah, I felt the same. And that Adam was more or less bribed to say he wanted to stay with Baldwin.
Well, exactly, but I mean, I blame myself for that. It's me that should have applied for custody.
You? Well, I don't see what difference that would have made.
Oh, no disrespect, Dad, but I'm younger and he knows me a lot better.
Yeah, but you couldn't offer him a proper home, could you? You've been through all that already. Deirdre?
You only got me to make it. Right. Steady on here. We don't want the punters topping themselves.
Blanche, can I ask you something and will you tell me straight up? Am I miserable? I'm just a plain speaker. I tell it how I see it. It's other people's fault if they read doom and gloom into it.
Is it really?
So, you think I should be, like, trying to look more on the bright side?
Well, it couldn't be any worse.
Yeah, right.
So, the surgeon said he'd have no choice. He'd have to have his leg off, just below the knee.
Yes, but look on the bright side. He'll get twice as much wear out of his socks now.
Oh, hello. I was just telling Edna here about Ken losing the case and the lad ending up Baldwin's.
And I was about to say it could be a lot worse.
I beg your pardon?
Well, let's look on the bright side. I mean, let's be honest. He'll have a dad with loads of money, a stepmother who's young and attractive, he'll have a sports car to ride round in, a golf club to join, a nice business to inherit. I mean, Ken's very nice.
Flaming hell do you know about it?
Eh?
Nout.
Exactly. So why don't you mind your own business?
Right.
We can't go on like this. We can't go on like...
For good.
No, of course not.
Keeping you dangling.
She'll be back.
Don't stir things up. You're only here to catch another breakfast.
Peter's welcome in my house at any time.
It's a pity the same can't be said for Deirdre.
Well, I didn't tell her to go flouncing off.
She never supported Dad. She's been on Baldwin's side right from the beginning.
For 12 years after Adam's birth, before you finally told us about him.
Oh, so it's my fault, is it?
It's certainly not all Deirdre's.
She didn't care how much she hurt him.
Look, please, will you just stop going on at each other? I've got enough to deal with.
Sorry.
So am I. Very.
Mum!
I went to the shop. Dev told me you were here.
So, he knows you've come then?
No. You may tell him your business. I don't tell him mine.
It's just that I don't like entertaining people in his flat.
What are you planning to do? The dance of the Seven Veils?
Mother, if you've just come here to make trouble...
I take exception to that, Deirdre. You're floating around in this show house with your dream man while you're married...
Ken and I are not married.
While your marriage is falling on its face.
Yeah, and whose fault is that?
Yours. Ken wants you back. You should be grateful and run home as fast as you can.
Oh, yeah, he'd just love that, wouldn't he?
Yes, he would.
Well, if he's so keen, why doesn't he come here himself?
Riding his white charger, rescuing you from the infidel.
Oh, don't be so daft.
Daft? Am I the one living in a dream world? Look at this place. It's like something out of a magazine.
I didn't leave Ken because he lives in a terraced house, you know.
You left him because he needs emotional support, and you can't be bothered giving it to him.
I need support as well.
You haven't got a dead daughter, and you haven't got a grandson who's been snatched away.
Look, I know what Ken's been through, and I have tried to help him. But Ken just puts his own interests first, regardless of the effect on anyone else, and now that's what I'm doing.
I take it, then, that for the time being, you're not coming back.
I'm not coming back at all. You might as well be the first to know. I've made my mind up. This is the end of the road. Me and Ken are finished.
You may not want to hear this, Deirdre, but you're not getting any younger.
I know how old I am.
Men don't grow on trees, and any still unattached at your age are somewhat suspect. Even Dev prefers a younger model than himself.
I am not here because of Dev. I walked out because Ken ignores me. He doesn't consider me. He doesn't listen to what I have to say.
He loves you.
No, he doesn't. He stood there with his arm through mine to prove to the court what a stable relationship he had. And it was all for show.
Rubbish.
It's Adam he wants, not me. He just wanted to beat Mike. He still does. Well, he's not going to use me to do it.
You're making a big mistake, Deirdre. What are you doing?
I'm eating a pasty.
You realise he's started looking at me?
You are?
He wants me out. And frankly, I can't blame him. With you gone, why should he put up with me hanging around the place?
So you think I should go back to Ken for your sake?
I can think of worse reasons.
Hiya.
Oh, hello. You can go ahead of me.
Thanks, just a coffee.
You know Dev's working late tonight.
Yeah, some trouble at the Swinton shop, he said.
Right. Well, listen, if you want to come round to the flat, I'm cooking.
No, you're all right, thanks. See ya.
Oh, well, look who's here.
Just come to see how you're keeping.
I'm fine, thank you.
Since I don't see you at home anymore. He's heartbroken, is Ken, you know.
No, he's not.
I'm not saying he's realised it. These things take time. And what's that? What are you looking at accommodation for? The only folk that need accommodation are them that don't have homes.
Yes, well, I'm moving out of Dev's and I'm going to find us a flat.
What's put this in your head? Oh, come home to number one. And all right, if you think you want a flat, go in the front room. Pretend that's one.
I want to be on my own.
Then I hope you never get what you want. Because them that are on their own, like I've been, they'll tell you what a terrible thing it is.
You want to get yourself an orange juice? There's some in the fridge.
Yeah, okay.
We pick him up at tea time, all right?
Yeah, that's what we agreed.
Yeah, I know that, but I didn't want to come back and find a note pinned to the door saying you'd taken him off somewhere.
You're never satisfied, are you? Got the boy living with you, so why do you begrudge me seeing him for a few hours a week?
I'm just making sure, because I know what you like. Always pushing for that little bit extra, aren't you?
Oh, hello.
Hi.
You know what she's after doing now? Moving into a flat.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about this later, OK?
Is this Deirdre you're talking about?
She's taking leave of her senses. You want to get down there and make her come back here. Drag her back if you have to.
I shouldn't think she'd take kindly to that.
Yeah, well, you've delivered, Adam. Thank you.
See? That's the trouble. He's as pig-headed as she is.
Oh, worse, I'd say, if you ask me. Much worse. See you later.
I'm sure we will.
So, Adam's here, is he?
Yes.
Oh, hello, young man. Let's have a look at you. Right for you. You're doing what you want. I'm left stuck in that house with Ken, and now Peter's back. I'm like a spare bun at a funeral.
Well, you just have to stick it a bit longer.
You know where this'll end, don't you? It'll be you and me together in a flat. Well, where else are we going to live? We've got no money, and you've got a good man there, desperate to have you back.
Yeah, well, you would say that, wouldn't you?
Well, he's asked you enough times. You talk as if I'm making it up. I think you've made your point now, don't you? Call it a day, love. If you leave it any longer, there might be no going back. Your wife doesn't exactly inspire confidence in the force.
Why? What's she done?
Needing Charlie Ramsden to stay with her while you were away. If a policewoman's scared of being on her own, then heaven help the other single women round here.
Charlie Ramsden?
I don't know what good a teacher would be in an emergency. I can't control a classroom these days. Visitor for you, Ken. Yeah, I was just popping out as it happens. I'll see you later.
I didn't expect to see you.
No. I was just wondering if we could talk.
I thought we'd said all that there was to say.
So did I.